Good evening and welcome to the Colorado Virtual College Fair this evening. Thank you so much for joining us. Before we get started, I wanted to take a moment to just go over a few housekeeping announcements. One, you can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time throughout this session, and they will be more than happy to respond to any questions that you have. Also, your camera and your microphone are both off, so the panelists cannot see or cannot hear you. Just a reminder, this is one of many different sessions that are happening, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions. And also, this presentation is being recorded, and it will be available within about a week at the same website where you registered for this particular session. So with that being said, I would like to now go ahead and turn it over to our first presenter, who is from Columbia University.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Tom Tomesco. You can see on your screen, my first and last names both start with T-O-M. So you can call me Tom if you like. And I'm here to talk to you about Columbia. So Columbia is an Ivy League university in New York City. So you can see this is a map of Manhattan, and we are up where the star is in the neighborhood called Morningside Heights between the Upper West Side and Harlem. And a cool thing about Columbia is that we were founded in 1754, and we're also the second largest landholder in all of New York City. So that means we have a really traditional looking campus. The cities had to grow around us and not the other way around. So all of our buildings are within walking distance of each other. It's really open, it's really green. It feels like that traditional college feel. We also guarantee housing all 4 years, and 95% of our students choose to stay on campus all 4 years. So our students don't really want to give up that traditional college feel, those close communities, just because they want all of the resources that New York City has to offer as well. So I think it's a really nice balance of being really residential, but also still being in one of the cultural capitals of the world. So this is the most important thing that I'll talk about during my segment. If I were you, I'd write it down. It's the core curriculum. So definitely do some more research on this later, but it's a set of shared classes that every Columbia student takes and every Columbia student takes at the same time, and everyone has taken for the past 100 years at Columbia. So it really defines your experience here. It lasts all 4 years. It's about a third of your classes. And it gives you something in common with every other Columbia student, regardless of major. It also gives you something in common with every Columbia alum. So if you ever meet an alum like Barack Obama, let's say, you can talk to him about the books he read in the core curriculum because you read the same ones. And the core curriculum is basically a deep dive into the human experience. So how humans have navigated what it means to be a person through the lenses of literature and philosophy and science. So you study why our society values the things that we value, why humans make the decisions that we make, how we express ourselves, and how we discover new knowledge. So it takes all of these forms that you can see on the screen. Definitely take some time to research it a little bit further. If the core sounds really exciting to you, then you could be a really good fit for Columbia. If it doesn't sound too exciting, that's okay. And maybe a different school is a better fit for you, and that's awesome information to have. But it really does define school spirit and identity at Columbia. Next, I want to talk about our student life. We are a really diverse place. New York City is one of the most diverse cities in the world, and that's what makes it so amazing. So of course, we want to replicate that on our campus as well. So 18% of our students are first generation, over 50% are students of color. We have students from all 50 states. There's plenty of Colorado representation. We have students from over 110 countries, and 12% of our student body is international. We have the 4th largest international student population of any US institution. So no matter what kind of identity or background you come from, it's really easy to find community at Columbia. And that also spills over into the kinds of clubs that we have. So we have over 500 clubs and activities, which I think is a really astounding number. it's just more proof that our students are really diverse and they have a ton of interests. So we have everything from 31 Division I varsity sports to identity and activism-based groups, to student publications, to performance-based groups, and even really eclectic groups like a knitting club called Gosh Yarn It. We also have some pretty cool traditions at Columbia. You can see on the bottom left, that's one I want to talk about. It's called The Varsity Show. It's an original musical that is written, performed, scored, staged, everything by Columbia students. They make a new one every year, and the whole point is just to make fun of life at Columbia. So I think it really captures what it means to be a Columbia student. Columbia students are really creative, they're really talented, but they also don't take themselves too seriously. So a big part of school pride is showing up to the varsity show, and basically the people in the varsity show roast everyone in the audience, and it's a really fun time and everyone leaves with a smile on their face. So I think that's pretty cool about Columbia. Of course, I can't talk about Columbia without talking about New York as well. So 95% of our students graduate having at least one internship. We have a job and internship database that last year alone posted 77,000 jobs and internships looking to hire Columbia students. We have really strong connections throughout the city, but also New York City is the hub of just about any industry. So no matter what you want to get into, New York is the place for you to be. If you want to go into medicine, if you want to go into law, finance, tech, the arts, nonprofit work, they all have world-leading, New York has world-leading organizations in all of those fields. Columbia also is surrounded by 3 parks, so if you're worried about missing that nice Colorado green space, you'll have plenty of it around you. We're really close to Central Park, and then we're between Riverside and Morningside parks as well. And we also give you discounts to Broadway shows and to movie theaters and free museum passes as well. So then I just want to finish up by talking about affordability. We don't give you any loans at Columbia, and we meet 100% of your demonstrated financial needs. So whatever you can afford to pay for Columbia is what you pay. And then we make New York City really affordable outside of that. We give you free laundry, work study, housing is covered under your financial aid, and then again, discounts and free passes around the city. So this is how to connect with us. If you want to learn more, take a screenshot of this slide. We have tons of virtual visit opportunities coming up. And so with that, I will turn it over to our next school.
Great, thank you, Columbia University. Next up, we have Pace University, but I just want to remind our attendees that if you do have questions, please do use the Q&A function, and our panelists will be more than happy to answer your questions. All right, Pace.
Great. Thank you so much for that nice introduction, and Tom for taking us into New York City. My name is Bridget. I work in undergraduate admissions at Pace, and I'm joined by my colleague Juanita Maya, who's going to be in the chat, answering any questions that you may have about Pace University. So let's get started. So what we really want you to know about Pace University is we have 2 different campuses. The first being New York City, which is about a 5 to 10 minute walk from Wall Street. We're pretty centrally located in downtown Manhattan. That is a home to about 6,400 students and about 3,000 graduate students. We do guarantee housing for all 4 years, and you have the option to stay in 4 of our residence halls, 2 of which are reserved for freshmen. So we have Marist Tower and 182 Broadway. And again, just to reiterate, we do guarantee housing for all 4 years, as long as you are depositing by that May 1st deadline set by housing. About 45 minutes north of New York City is our Rochester campus. That's home to about 2,600 students and about 1,000 graduate students. So whereas our New York City campus is pretty tall and vertical, our Rochester campus has over 200 acres, and it's also home to our Division II sports teams, as well as our nature center on campus. There are 6 housing and residence-like facilities for students to stay in, one of which is a freshman dorm and one of which is townhouses for students to get that off-campus feel. It is 45 minutes north of New York City, so you can take the Pace shuttle that's going to run between the campuses a few times a day. And then you can also take the Metro North, which is our public transportation system, down into Grand Central Station in New York City. So what makes Pace unique is something called the Pace Path. It's starting in your classroom, and it It's going to start in a class called University 101, which is an introduction to university life, taught by your academic advisor. So they're going to ask you questions to make sure that you are maximizing your time at Pace University. So in combining academics, mentorship programs, and internships, we really want to be sure that you are getting market ready by the time you graduate with us. So that may be adding another major, adding a minor, thinking about where you want to do an internship, such as Goldman Sachs or Nickelodeon, or even just getting involved in clubs off campus or on campus. So the first part of that PACE path is going to be academics. We have 5 undergraduate colleges and 1 law school located in Rochester. We have over 150 bachelor awarding programs as well as combined degree programs. And my colleague Juanita Maya is going to drop the information for all of our majors in the chat because I don't want to go too far into detail of them today. So the next pillar is going to be the internship program. So a typical PACE student will have 3 to 5 internships by the time they graduate with us, and we have one of the largest in the New York metropolitan area. So what that means for you is you get to go to at least 2 job fairs a semester, as well as specialized events that are going to be held through our career services office. And you can work with career services as early as your 2nd semester freshman year to build your resume, work on a cover letter, and how to nail those interviews and network so you can get that job after graduation. So now more than ever, we want to be sure that you are financially responsible getting into college. So PACE does offer merit scholarship to every student that applies to the university, and that ranges from $10,000 all the way up to $29,000. So again, once you apply to PACE, you're considered for that. And then we also encourage all families to file the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, which may qualify you for any loans, grants, or work study opportunities that you can pursue at PACE. You'll see on the left-hand side, about 95% of our students are receiving financial aid from us, and that average amount that they are receiving their first year is $25,000. But the best thing you can do is go to that bottom link, the pace.edu/calculator, and get a better sense of what you can expect to receive if you are admitted to PACE University in the future. So the application requirements, we have our application and the fee. We are on the Common App. We also have a PACE application. I usually recommend the Common App if you're planning to apply to multiple different schools. We have your official high school transcript, which can be sent to us through Naviance, or your high school counselor can send that directly to me. The average GPA that we're looking for is about a 3.3, which is an 88 or a B+. Your SAT or ACT scores, PACE is test optional for all programs this year. We announced our test optional policy last year, but just to reiterate, our average SAT is an 1140, average ACT is a 24, and you can still be considered for merit scholarship when you apply without your test scores as well. We'll be looking at 2 letters of recommendation that you send to us, so those can be academic letters of recommendation from your high school counselor or from your teachers or 2 teachers. Of course, if you have a job or an internship that you would like to have speak on your behalf, we're happy to read those as well. And then your essay or your personal statement, that is included in the Common App, so nothing supplemental from what's asked for you there. Our important deadlines on the left-hand side, you'll see are ones coming up this fall. So our early decision is if you're 110% sure you want to come to PACE, we'd love to have you, and you should apply by November 1st. You have 2 early action deadlines, which is non-binding, just having the benefit of finding out earlier. You're going to apply in November and December. You'll hear back within a month or so with your application academic decision. For my performing arts students, you want to have that academic application in by December 15th. And then for regular decision and nursing, the program-specific deadline, that is February 15th in next year. So wrapping up here, this is my contact information. You have undergraduate admissions information, as well as my information and financial aid. I am the admissions counselor for Colorado, so I'm happy to connect with any students that have any questions. You can reach out to me directly by taking a picture of this page, and I'm going to pass it off to my next group.
Great. Thank you, PACE University. Next, you're going to hear from Hofstra University.
Hi everyone, my name is Jane and I am the person at Hofstra that works with students from Colorado. If you hang on a second, I'm going to share my screen. Awesome. Thanks so much for being here with us tonight. I'm sure you've come to realize that this is the all New York session. So I'm making the assumption that many of you are looking to come to the East Coast and maybe specifically to New York for college. So just a few fun facts and interesting things about Hofstra. We are a medium-sized college or university, and we... Sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm in my office, and of all the things, my telephone rang at this hour of the evening. So I sincerely apologize. Hofstra is a medium-sized university. Our undergraduate population is approximately 6,500 students. We also offer graduate level programs, a School of Law, as well as a School of Medicine. So if you count every single Hofstra student, it brings us to about 12,000 individuals. So I often feel like Goldilocks. I always say we're not too big, we're not too small, we're kind of just that medium-sized college or university. We have about 165 different undergraduate majors at the university, and certainly also have very small classes. Average class size at Hofstra, regardless of major and regardless of year of attendance, so whether you're in an intro level class or whether you're in a very specific class for something that you're taking for your major as a senior, the average class size is 21, and class size never exceeds 35 students. Like those that have come before me and those that will come after me, we're all located in New York, but in various parts of a rather large state. Hofstra is located 25 miles east of New York City. I often, when I'm out in Colorado visiting students at high schools and doing college fairs, will use the analogy that if you think of the distance between Boulder and downtown Denver, that's exactly the same distance that Hofstra is to New York City. It is super easy to take the train. The train ride takes approximately 40 minutes, and that will get you right into New York City. You can utilize that as an extra classroom. You certainly can use the city for culture, for fun, and all the wonderful things that New York City is known for. Certainly, internships are a very popular aspect of a Hofstra student's education. The average student at Hofstra does 2.3 internships during their 4-year time with us. And certainly doing internships in New York City during a regular semester is exceedingly popular. So students will combine an internship along with their academic classes. I don't want anyone to get eye strain. Please don't try and start to read this, but it's just really meant to give you an idea of the vast array of different undergraduate programs that Hofstra has to offer. Like many of my colleagues at other institutions, Hofstra is comprised of different colleges or different schools. So meaning things like a School of Communication or a College of Liberal Arts and Sciences or a School of Engineering. Of the 165 majors, the top 3 in terms of popularity are biology, accounting, and film. We've just added 2 brand new majors in communications this year, both BFA, Bachelor of Fine Arts programs. One is in film itself, the other is in screenwriting, and we are offering a brand new BS in nursing program, and that will be starting this fall. So just to give you a little bit of background in terms of deadlines for applications as well as averages. If I were standing behind a table at a college fair, I know these would be typical questions that many of you would ask. Please know that Hofstra does utilize the common application as well as our own application. We don't have a favorite, so you can use whichever is most comfortable for you. And also rest assured that Hofstra is a test optional institution and has been a test optional institution since 2014. So students who do not have the opportunity to be submitting test scores as part of their application process this year should not worry whatsoever. It's something we're very accustomed to and very familiar with, and we find it very easy to read applications that do not contain test scores. Certainly you will be considered for academic merit scholarships, regardless of whether there are test scores sent in as part of your application. I hope that this information has been helpful. Again, I apologize for my office phone ringing in the middle of this, and I will turn this over to my other colleagues. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you, Hofstra University. Next up, we will hear from SUNY Cortland. And again, just a reminder to our attendees, particularly if you have just joined us, that you can certainly ask questions in the Q&A button in the tool at the bottom of your screen. So please feel free to do that throughout the rest of this session. All right, SUNY Cortland.
Hi, my name is Alyssa and I'm the regional recruiter for SUNY Cortland. Just a little background on SUNY. We are the State University of New York. We are one of the largest university systems in the nation with 64 total campuses. Here's my contact information. I do recruit in Colorado, so if you need me, here's take a screenshot of this. So a little bit about SUNY Cortland. We are a small to medium-sized school similar to Hofstra. We've got about 7,000 students. That is going to be our grad and undergrad population. Each fall, we bring in about 1,200 first-year students and about 600 transfers. Our average class size is 23, so it is a smaller feel to that school. We do have larger classrooms, so we do have lecture-style halls that are going to be 200 to 300 students, but as you get into your major, those are going to be smaller and closer to that 23 number. Our student-to-faculty ratio is 16:1. Location-wise, we are not located in New York City. We are located in central New York. We are about 45 minutes from Syracuse University. We're about 45 minutes from Binghamton University, and then 20 minutes from Cornell in the Ithaca region. We are rated the #1 safest campus in New York State. I've always felt safe. I am an alum. We are a smaller campus, so there really isn't a lot of dangers around the school. We do have students from 34 states and 47 countries, so we are fairly diverse. And then you can see at the bottom of the screen the flight times from both Denver and Colorado Springs. You would fly into Syracuse. For our first year freshman admissions criteria, we're looking for 4 years of English and history and then 3 years of math, science, and foreign language. We're really looking for 9 credits in those last 3. So whichever way you want to do it, 9 credits of math, science, and foreign language. And then for our out-of-state students, we're really looking for a solid B student. So between an 86 and a 92, about a 3.4, and we are test optional this year, so you will not be required to submit any test scores. And for our merit scholarships, we will not be looking at test scores. This is going to be the total student expense. We do give all of our out-of-state students an automatic $7,500 award per year. And in your last 2 years, if you remain living on campus, you receive an additional $2,000 in those 2 years. So the total billed cost is going to be about $27,000. We do have around 80 clubs on campus we are D3 in athletics. So we have sports, Greek life. Every one of our majors has a club. Whatever club you want, we have it. And if we don't have it, you can create it. It only takes 3 students and a faculty member to create a club. So there's always new clubs coming in on campus. As far as residence life, we do have 17 different residence halls on campus. We have low-rise, high-rise, apartment style, quad style. We do require all first-year students to live on campus for the first 2 years and our transfers for their first year. This is our Student Life Center where all things recreation are located. We have 2,500 students and faculty members that are in here a day. We have an indoor track, weights, cardio, a cycling room, CrossFit gym, a pool, a hot tub, and a lot of courts for basketball and volleyball and all sorts of sports. Also located in that building is one of our 10 dining facilities. This is going to be our newest facility, and this is going to be all you can eat. So you go in and there's different things all week long. You can see the menu and you can see a live feed of this all day long. So you can see what's going on, how many people are there. There's every kind of food that you can imagine is going to be here. And then in our other 9 facilities, we have things like coffee shops, grab and go, salads, sandwiches, pasta, pizza, whatever you want, we have it. And then lastly, these are going to be our majors. I know there are a lot on the screen and the font is very small. I have put an asterisk next to our most popular majors. We do have a lot. We have things in all different areas. We have 3 schools. We have the School of Professional Studies, the School of Education, and then the School of Arts and Sciences. Some of our most popular are going to be, especially for Colorado, our musical theater is very popular, sports management, speech and hearing science. We are the largest and most comprehensive education school in the state of New York. So we have a lot of teacher certification programs, as well as all the sciences. And we do have a pre-med and pre-law track. And again, if you have any questions, please let me know. But thank you.
All right, thank you. So next up, we have University of Rochester.
Well, thank you, everyone. My name is Kathleen. I am Regional Director of Admissions at the University of Rochester. I'm just going to share my screen real quick. So, like everyone else, we are located in the state of New York, but also in the upstate region. So we're about 5.5 to 6 hours north of New York City, just south of Toronto, about 3 hours south, truly in upstate New York. So we are in the city of Rochester, New York, which is a city. You know, it's not a New York City or a Boston or a Chicago. I actually do compare it a lot to Denver when I'm out that way. It's sort of the same size and feel in a lot of different capacities. So this is kind of where we are in our location within the city. So those red brick buildings right there, that is our main campus where about 95% of our 6,000 undergraduates do live and learn. And we are a short 3 miles from downtown Rochester. And so it will have great restaurants, wonderful art museums and galleries, great live music venues, wonderful opportunities for internships and research kind of right there at our doorstep. We do have our own medical center as well, which houses the Strong Memorial Hospital, one of the leading research hospitals in the country. Also has our School of Medicine and Dentistry. It's got the Golisano Children's Hospital, Cancer Research Center, a prosthetics lab. So for any of you who might be interested in pre-health sciences, you know, we've got all of those great amenities at our own medical center. Being that we are in upstate New York, winter is no joke with us. And so we do get about 110 inches of snow on average a year. But as you can see from the picture, we do have really beautiful fall and spring weather as well. So lots of things for you to do while you're on campus or off campus with us. We also have a connection with Eastman School of Music for those of you who might be interested in a conservatory program. We do have a dual degree program with them. A couple pictures of campus right here. One of the things that really makes us unique is our curriculum. So unlike most schools, we don't have a core or a gen ed requirement. So there's actually no required subjects when you come to the university. You simply study what you love and don't have to study what you don't love. So what that means for you is if you graduate high school thinking, I really never want to take English again, or math or science or whatever that might be for you, you don't have to. You simply create your own major, create your own curriculum, and that way you can kind of learn the things that are most interesting to you. Because of that flexibility, over 80% of our students do complete at least a major and a minor, and well over 50% will complete at least 2 majors. So we understand you're coming to us with lots of different academic interests, and it's up to you to decide how broadly or deeply you'd like to go into those. We do have over 200 academic programs for you to choose from. So certainly not just the STEM areas, but things like American Sign Language, comparative literature, African American studies, women and gender studies. So lots of great, compelling, interesting things for you to live and learn while you're with us. We are a Tier 1 research institution as well. So research is a big part of who we are and what we do, and it's available in all of our academic disciplines. So it's not just the lab coats and the protective eye gear and the computers like you see here, but it's also students doing research on the voting patterns of freshman congressmen or translating ancient texts and things like that. So really what we're just focused on is making sure that we understand you're gonna have a really good, strong academic program with us, but we also wanna make sure that you are having real world applicable knowledge as part of that as well. So about 77% of our students do participate in research when they're with us. And we are able to fund your research as well. As a Tier 1 research institution, we are one of the smallest at 6,000 undergraduates. The average size of other Tier 1 institutions is about 26,000. So our size is really a huge benefit for you because we're able to funnel just so much more of those resources and those opportunities to you to get that experiential opportunity that maybe you're looking for. Like other schools, you know, we're not just focused on making sure you get a good education, but making sure you have a good life on our campus as well. And so we do have over 300 club and organizations for our students that you can participate in. We have our Division III athletic program as well, along with 40 different club and intramural sports. So if you happen to be a student athlete and are looking to continue that, we have great opportunities for you there at Rochester. We have a Greek system as well, so about 20% of our students are taking part in a fraternity or sorority. But really what we're just trying to do is make sure that, you know, again, more than 50% of your time in college is spent outside the classroom. We just want to make sure we're providing lots of things for you to do and engage in, and to be engaged members of our community. The picture on the top left is of our tunnel system. So we are, like I said, upstate New York, lots and lots of snow during the winter. So we do have an underground tunnel system that will get you to about 65% of campus completely underground. So last, I'll just sort of talk a little bit about admissions. So this is a snapshot of our current first year class. We have about 1,250 first year students with us currently. And here's just kind of a snapshot of them. But to give you an idea of our entire student population, again, 6,000 undergraduates. We do represent all 50 states with places like Colorado and California and Illinois in our top 10 feeder states, and also 127 different countries. So currently, 32% of our undergraduate population are international students who come to us from outside of the US, so almost a full third. And that's by design. So we really have a strong international presence and global perspective, even on our campus. We are on Common Application or Coalition app. I don't care which one you send in, makes no difference to us, whatever one's easier for you. We are an early decision school, so that is binding. You need to know we're your first choice. And we're also test optional, so there is no need for you to submit any testing to us. But if you have any other questions, all of our enrollment information and admissions information is very transparent on our website, also my contact information, and looking forward to talking to you again. Thanks.
Thank you, University of Rochester. Our final presenter will be from Marist College. So if you have any final questions that you would like to ask, then please do so in the next few minutes. Marist College.
Great, thank you so much. Hi everyone, my name is Melina Carice and I am a Senior Assistant Director of Admission at Marist. I'm also joined tonight by my colleague Bridget Stilson, who is in the chat if anyone has any particular questions about Marist. So Marist College is located in New York, just like all of these other schools. However, we are slightly more upstate from the city. So we are about 90 minutes north of New York. So we're located right up in the Hudson Valley. Our campus is located directly on the Hudson River. We are a small to medium-sized private liberal arts college. So we have a little over 5,000 undergraduate students. We have over 40 different bachelor degree programs that span across our 6 academic schools. At Marist, when you apply, you're not applying into any specific major or academic school, but rather the college as a whole. The only 2 exceptions to that are our fashion design and studio art majors, as they do require a supplemental portfolio to be considered for admission. Marist also has 15 graduate level programs. However, a majority of our graduate programs are offered exclusively online. Therefore, we are a predominantly undergraduate institution in terms of the students that are on ground on campus. Marist is also a very geographically diverse school. Our current student body does represent 47 of the 50 states as well as 64 different countries. So if you do decide to come to Marist, you'll have an opportunity to live and learn alongside students from all different walks of life with all different backgrounds and perspectives to not only bring to those classroom discussions, but to the relationships and friendships that you're going to forge on campus as well. Our student to faculty ratio is just 16:1, so our students are finding ample opportunities to engage personally with our faculty both in and outside of the classroom. The average class size at Marist is just 18 to 26 students, and we do cap all of our classes at 35, so we don't have lecture halls, and really do place a lot of value in those collaborative classroom environments and experiences for our students. The Marist students are seeing a lot of success after they leave us. 98% of our class of 2019 was employed or attending grad school within 6 months of graduation. And there's many support systems in place at Marist to really support our students through that journey. We have obviously our Career Services Center, our alumni network are really active in helping place our students into internship opportunities or helping them land a job. We do have a really robust internship program with dedicated internship coordinators in each academic school at the college. So there's a professional staff member available to assist students with everything pertaining to that internship search process. Students may find opportunities to intern on campus, locally in the Hudson Valley near Marist, or even down into New York City. Students may either commute to the city by train or take advantage of our residential internship program called Marist in Manhattan, where students actually have an opportunity to live in the city full-time for a full semester or 10 weeks over the summer. Marist students may also get involved in research if it is something that is relevant or applicable to their major or minors of their choosing. Students may engage in independent research endeavors or in faculty-assisted research at the college. Marist does also provide funding to support students in those research initiatives as well. Study abroad at Marist is also very popular. A little over 50% of our student body will travel abroad at least once during their 4 years. So we do place a lot of emphasis on those global opportunities for our students. We have over 70 active destinations worldwide, and we also have a branch campus in Florence, Italy. We offer semester-long programs, short-term attachment programs, which last 2 to 3 weeks in length and occur at the end of the spring semester. And we also offer 2 freshman year abroad programs at either our branch campus in Florence, Italy, or at the Dublin Business School in Dublin, Ireland. At our Florence campus, in addition to the freshman Florence experience and the traditional study abroad, we also offer 4-year bachelor degrees for certain majors, as well as a master's degree in museum studies through that location. And then in terms of student life, we have a really active student body, whether it's involvement in clubs and organizations, in athletics, or in community service initiatives. We have over 80 active clubs and organizations on campus. We are a Division I institution for athletics. We compete in the MAC, the same conference as Quinnipiac, Siena, Fairfield, Manhattan, so some other schools up in this region. In addition to that, we do also have club and intramural opportunities for students as well. And then in terms of applying, like many of my colleagues, Marist is also on the Common App. We also have our own institutional application. In addition to being a member of the coalition, we offer 2 early decision deadlines, November 15th and February 1. We also offer early action and regular decision, both of which are non-binding. And then on your screen, you can see the average profile for the average accepted student at Marist in terms of GPA, SAT, and ACT scores. Marist is also a test optional institution, so you are not required to submit your test scores to be considered for admission. We've been test optional for well over a decade. You are equally eligible for merit-based scholarships with or without your test scores. And then if you're interested in engaging with us further, we are open 7 days a week for both in-person and virtual visit opportunities. You can go right to our website to explore the different types of opportunities that might work best for you. And then just lastly, wanted to provide the contact information for the admission office. You're welcome to email us at any time. I'm gonna be happy to answer any questions that you may have. So that's it for me, and I'm gonna hand it back over to our host.
Great, thank you so much. So I appreciate everyone being here this evening. This concludes our session for tonight. So I just want to say thank you to our panelists and to our attendees. Also, just so you know that when you close your window, you will have a survey that will have 4 questions. We ask that you please complete that survey, which will provide us feedback about this session. Also, just a reminder that this is one of many different sessions that are being hosted. So be sure to sign up for other sessions as well. And that also this session has been recorded along with all of the other sessions. And those sessions, the recordings can be found where you registered for this particular session. So with that being said, I just want to say thank you again for joining us this evening, and I hope you have a good night. Thank you.